Do you want to know why you can't stick to your diet, but you never forget to scroll on Instagram? It's not about willpower, it's about how your brain works, and I'm going to show you how to hack it. Now, let's get something straight. Discipline isn't some magical superpower that only special people have. It's just doing the same thing over and over. That's it. There's nothing fancy and there's no secret formula. It's just repetition until something becomes automatic. What I really want you to understand is that you already have discipline in your life right now. You brush your teeth every day, I hope. You check your phone constantly. You watch Netflix. You show up to work even if you don't want to. You remember to eat. You shower regularly, I hope. See? You're already disciplined at the things you've made automatic. But you don't think of these actions as discipline because they're easy for you. They're just a part of your routine. The problem isn't that discipline is hard. The problem is you're overthinking it. Most people struggle because they're sitting around waiting for motivation to strike like lightning. They say things like, I'll go to the gym when I feel like it. I'll start eating healthy when I'm in the right mindset. I'll begin that project when inspiration hits. But guess what? That day never comes. Or it comes once and then disappears again. Motivation is like a match. It burns hot but goes out quickly. Discipline is the slow burning coal that keeps going even when the match is long gone. So waiting to feel like it is exactly what makes discipline seem impossible. The people you think are super disciplined, in reality, they don't feel like doing their habits or work any more than you do. The difference is they just do it anyway. Think about it. When you brush your teeth before going to bed at night, do you have some magical burst of toothbrushing motivation? Absolutely not. You just do it because it's what you do. There are no emotions involved. You don't stand there contemplating whether you're in the mood to brush your teeth. You don't need a pep talk or YouTube video to convince you. You just pick up the toothbrush and get it done. And here's where most people screw this up. They make their habits way too hard to start. They say things like, I'm gonna work out for 2 hours every day. I'll write 2,000 words every morning. I will completely change my diet overnight. And then they miss one day and the whole thing falls apart. They set themselves up for failure with unrealistic expectations. Instead, make your habits stupidly easy. So easy, in fact, it would be embarrassing not to do them. Don't say, I'll go to the gym for an hour. Say, I will put on my gym shoes. That's it. Once your shoes are on, you'll probably do more. But all you committed to was putting on your shoes. Don't say, I will write a chapter. Say, I will write one sentence. Don't say, I will meditate for 30 minutes. Say, I will sit on my meditation cushion for 1 minute. I had a friend who couldn't build a reading habit. He kept buying books but never read them. He literally had a whole stack by his bed collecting dust. I told him to just read 1 page a day. Just one. And he laughed at me. He thought it was ridiculous. What good is 1 page, he said. But guess what? He gave it a try, and after 1 year, he'd read 15 books. 1 page became 10 pages, and eventually became a whole chapter. Now, he reads every single day without thinking about it. He started so small, it was impossible to fail. Now, your financial discipline is probably one of the most important forms of discipline, because let's be honest, money decides pretty much everything in this world, and if you have a lot of it, the quality of your life will be much better than if you don't. Now, unfortunately, there are some things we're not allowed to share on YouTube, which is why to help you, I've recorded a free training to show you how I went from zero to over $1,200 a day with 95% profit margins. The link is in the description and I highly suggest you check it out when you're done with this video. You can also book a free call with me or my team, and together, we'll come up with a game plan for you to get to 5 to 10K per month as quickly as possible. But be quick, because we literally get hundreds of applications per month, so we don't have enough spots for everyone. Look, the secret of discipline isn't willpower, it's systems. Disciplined people don't rely on feeling motivated. They make it automatic. They set alarms. They prepare their gym clothes the night before. They delete social media apps during work hours, or at least they block them. They meal prep on Sundays. They put their phone in another room when they're working. As we're talking right now, my phone is on airplane mode in a drawer. That way I'm not tempted to use it. Disciplined people make the good choice the easy choice and the bad choice really inconvenient. Have you ever noticed how easy it is to eat junk food? It's designed that way. There's no preparation that goes into it and it's instantly satisfying. Now, healthy food on the other hand often takes work. You have to go shopping, chopping, cooking. So flip the script. Make healthy food easy to access. Pre-cut veggies at eye level in your fridge. Make junk food hard to get. Don't buy it or put it on a high shelf that requires effort. Try habit stacking. Attach new habits to things you already do without thinking. For example, after I get my tea, I do 10 push-ups. After I brush my teeth, I read 1 page of my book. After you get home from work, You could go for a 5-minute walk. After you shower, you could meditate for 2 minutes. When you do this, you don't need to think about it, you just do it. The established habit triggers the new one automatically. Listen, you're not special in your struggles. Everyone in the world deals with the same excuses, the same laziness, and the same procrastination. The voice in your head saying, do it tomorrow, or let's keep it just this once, or I will start on Monday. That voice is universal. Every human on earth has it. The difference between disciplined people and everyone else isn't their feelings, it's their actions. When that voice says, I don't feel like it, disciplined people say, it doesn't matter, and they do it anyway. They've separated their actions from their feelings. They don't negotiate with themselves. They don't debate whether they're in the mood. They just act regardless of how they feel. Think about it. Do you feel like brushing your teeth every night? Probably not. You just do it because not doing it feels worse than doing it. That is the secret. Make not doing your habit feel worse than actually doing it. Create pain around skipping and satisfaction around completing, even if the habit itself isn't particularly enjoyable. And here's another thing. The first time you do anything, it's hard. The 10th time, a little bit easier. The 100th time, it's easy. Discipline is a muscle that strengthens with use. The more you force yourself to do something when you don't feel like it, the easier it gets next time. Your brain literally rewards itself through repetition. Remember learning to drive? You had to consciously think about every single action. You had to check your mirrors, signal, check blind spots, press the gas pedal gently, keep an eye on the speed. It was exhausting. Now you drive without thinking. In fact, you can have an entire conversation while navigating traffic. That is what happens with any habits given enough repetition. The hardest part is always starting. Once you begin, momentum carries you. That's why I say just put on your gym shoes. Just open the book. Just write one sentence. Just turn on the meditation app. Starting is 90% of the battle. Action precedes motivation, not the other way around. Most people give up right before discipline gets easy. They do something for a week, don't see results, and quit. But discipline compounds. Each day gets a tiny bit easier until suddenly it's automatic. It's like pushing a heavy boulder. Incredibly difficult at first, but once it starts rolling, it develops its own momentum. To give you an example, I used to hate running. The first kilometer was torture. My lungs were burning, my legs were aching, and my mind was screaming to stop. But I kept showing up day after day, not because I enjoyed it, but because I committed to it. And then I started to run 5 kilometers every morning without thinking about it. And it's not because I magically became a different person. It's because repetition rewired my brain. The path of least resistance shifted from skipping to doing. Your brain is constantly building neural pathways. Every time you repeat an action, that pathway gets stronger. It's like walking through tall grass. The first time, it's hard to see the path. But walk it every day for a month, and you create a clear trail that's easy to follow. Eventually, not doing the action feels uncomfortable. That is when discipline becomes effortless. Here's a mind trick that works. Stop saying, I'm trying to be disciplined. Start saying, I am disciplined. Your brain believes the stories you tell it. If you see yourself as someone who always shows up, even when it's difficult, guess what? You will show up. It's who you are. If you see yourself as somebody who never quits, you will keep going when others stop. That is why your identity is powerful. When your habits become part of who you are, they're almost impossible to break. I'm not someone who tries to exercise. I'm an athlete. I'm not trying to be a reader. I'm a reader. I'm not trying to eat healthy. I'm a healthy eater. Act as if until it becomes true. Your actions create your identity, and your identity drives your actions. It's a reinforcing cycle. Most people make discipline complicated because it gives them an excuse when they fail. It's just too hard. I need to learn more techniques. I need a better plan. I need a perfect schedule. No, you know enough. The basics work if you actually do them. Complexity is more often than not procrastination in disguise. Discipline isn't about perfection either. It's about consistency. Missing one day doesn't matter if you get back on track immediately. 2 days becomes a week, becomes a month. It's what you do most of the time that counts. If you brush your teeth 90% of the time, you'll have good dental hygiene. If you eat healthy 80% of the time, you'll be healthier than most. Let me give you a simple formula. Pick one tiny habit. Do it at the same time every day, right after something you already do automatically. Make it so easy you can't say no. Track it somewhere visible. A calendar, an app, a sticky note. Don't break the chain. See those check marks adding up. feel the satisfaction of consistency. That's it. That is the whole secret to discipline. Everything else is just details and excuses. The truth is you don't need another productivity book. You don't need a fancy app. You don't need a perfect morning routine. You just need to start small and show up consistently. Period. Remember this. Discipline isn't about what you do when you're motivated. It's about what you do when you don't want to do anything at all. That is when growth happens. That's when you separate yourself from everyone else who's waiting for the perfect mood to strike. Now, unfortunately, there are some things we're not allowed to share on YouTube, which is why to help you, I've recorded a free training to show you how I went from zero to over $1,200 a day with 95% profit margins. The link is in the description and I highly suggest you check it out when you're done with this video. You can also book a free call with me or my team and together, we'll come up with a game plan for you to get to 5 to 10K per month as quickly as possible. But be quick because we literally get hundreds of applications per month, so we don't have enough spots for everyone. Every time you force yourself to show up when you don't feel like it, you're building that discipline muscle. And like any muscle, it grows stronger with use. The pain lessens, the resistance fades. What once felt impossible becomes merely difficult, and what was difficult becomes easy. What was easy becomes automatic. So stop waiting for the perfect moment. Stop waiting to feel ready. Stop waiting for motivation. Stop overthinking it. Pick something small, do it today, and then do it again tomorrow, and the next day, and the day after that. Discipline isn't hard. You're just making it hard by thinking it should feel good all the time. It doesn't. Do it anyway. That's the whole secret. The magic happens when you continue despite not feeling like it. The people you admire for their discipline don't have special powers. They don't have better genetics or more willpower. They just decided that their goals matter more than their temporary feelings. And so can you. They've made success inevitable through tiny, consistent actions compounded over time. Start today, not Monday, unless it's Monday when you're watching this. Not January 1st, not when things calm down. Today. Start with one tiny action, then repeat. That's all discipline is. Repetition until it becomes automatic. Until the extraordinary becomes ordinary. Until discipline isn't discipline anymore. It's just who you are. You've got this. And deep down, you know I'm right. Discipline isn't the complicated part. Starting is. So what are you waiting for? Close this video and do one small thing you've been putting off. Then come back tomorrow and tell me how it went.